Hi everyone. So instead of making you sit through a full 46-minute video, it's actually 46 minutes plus. I went ahead and broke it up in 2 parts. So you get to watch the 46 minutes, just not all at once. You can watch it in 2 separate videos. I don't know why I didn't do that before, but yeah, I'm doing it now. Hope you enjoy it.
Would be trespassing.
No.
Then put the trespassing sign up here. You got to have proper signage. That's one of the issues.
Notified, and then
But you have to trespass in order to see the sign.
What I'm suggesting to you is we'll come over here and we'll say where you can be, and we can agree on it, and then you can film as much.
Well, trespassing really only exists if I refuse to leave.
Right. Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
You're telling me to leave, so I'm walking off, and so
Right.
Okay. So see, 15 feet from either side of the road, so I can properly stand right here. I mean,
okay. Now, what I will suggest is that you're kind of in the turn. So, what I'm suggesting is this may not be the safest spot for you to be.
okay.
Okay? I'm saying it's probably legal for you to be.
Well, when people turn in, they're going to turn in wide that way.
Well,
coming out, they'll come.
Yeah, but so here, just experience coming and going from the training academy. So this road kind of narrows right here. And so people coming in and people coming out doesn't leave a lot of room for you, especially considering the traffic on the roadway here. So I'm just saying it might not be the safest place to be. You're perfectly well within your rights to be there, but it just might not be the safest place to be.
Okay.
Okay, you got any questions?
The sign actually says that if you're not a Metro employee, proceed to the main building to get a visitor's pass.
Yes, we're going to deny you a visitor's pass for your activity today, yes.
You're going to deny me a pass because I'm recording.
Yes.
You've got no other business with the academy.
My business is I'm a journalist.
You have credentials as a journalist?
You don't have to have credentials.
Okay.
The First Amendment is the credentials. The Constitution. Did y'all not swear an oath to the Constitution?
Sure did. Sure did.
Okay, well then,
the U.S.
Then don't violate my rights, defend my rights.
Okay.
Well, you have the right to stay right here and do your filming and this and that, but we're not going to give you the right to do it.
If
It's
you
private
would
property.
It's not private property.
Private property.
Is it not government?
It is, but we got the right.
So tax dollars paid for it, so it's public property.
We're not going to sit here and argue with you about it.
Now, see, Jeremiah, this is the point where you need to shut your mouth and listen, because they're actually educating you. And you need this. You need this desperately. You need education. So this is where you should have just shut your mouth and listened, because they are right 100%. Let me explain something to you. First of all, you're not a taxpayer. Second of all, regular taxes do not pay the police department. What pays the police department, the fire department, and our 911 responders and operators are property taxes. Let me explain what a property tax is, because I'm sure you don't know. Property tax is when you purchase a home and you have to pay a tax on the property your home sits on. That's a property tax. So unless you own a home, you're not paying property taxes. Therefore, you put nothing into the pockets of said police officers, fire department, 911 operators. So you might as well just stop talking about taxpayers altogether, because you yourself are not one. Second, places like this police academy. Yes, the police department uses it to train their police officers. That doesn't mean they own the property. What that means is they pay to use said property. There's an owner of the property. There's always going to be an owner of the property. That owner can tell you whether you can go on that property or not. Hence the no trespassing sign. Hence the gate. So just because you think there's no owner to that property, or you know that a police department is public property, just because the academy is there does not mean it is public property. There is an owner to this property. If you bother to research it, you would know this, but you're too lazy to do that. Or if you researched it, you wouldn't understand it anyway, so it doesn't really even matter. However, it is private property. because there's an owner to the property. And the owner says no to you. They can deny you a visitor's pass because you really don't have any real reason for being there other than filming and being a public nuisance. They're right about that. They have every right to deny service at any time. They have the right to deny service, tell you to leave, and if you don't leave, they have the right to trespass you. And I like how the cop was kind of coddling you a little bit, because when you said, oh, you can't be trespassed unless you're told to leave, and the cop said, yes, you're right. However, had you walked past that sign, you would have been trespassing. And even you know it, because when you read it, you said, oh, shit. So you were very aware of what you were doing. They're not taking your rights away at all. You're allowed to film, but you're only allowed to film from a public place. And past that gate is not public. It is private. So they're not taking away your First Amendment rights at all. Which, anyways, there is nothing in the Constitution that says you have a right to film. Nowhere in the Constitution does it state this. And don't even try saying, oh, it says we have the right to press and blah, blah, blah. That, nowhere in there does it say you have the right to film. So just take a moment, shut the fuck up, and take the education that they're giving you.
We're telling you.
Okay, so my attorneys will contact you.
Okay.
What's your name?
Lieutenant Lee Dupuy.
Okay. All right. And
Bob
he was...
Bob Doak. If you would like to make some sort of media contact, you can contact Don Aaron's office. You should have that number if you're in the media.
Okay, well, that's just it, though. You shouldn't have to notify that we're coming.
Yeah, we do.
No. Yeah, the media does. When the media comes out here, they notify Don Aaron's office.
See, we're causing an issue right here.
And they also come to the front lobby, just like the sign says, and they get a visitor's pass. And as a journalist, you can do that, but at this time, we're going to deny your ability to get on property and get a visitor.
So you're saying you're going to violate my rights?
No, we're saying we're going to deny.
That's what you're saying by deny.
How are they violating your First Amendment rights? How are they violating any of your rights? It is private property. How dumb are you that you cannot seem to figure that part out? I mean, come on. They have already stated this to you. And if you were real media, you would know. You would know where to go to get a pass. If you were real press, you would know that to go onto private property, you would need to get approval to do so. Real media, real press, real journalists know all of this stuff. And they do have credentials to prove that they are actual journalists. That's how they can see the difference between you dipshits and the real journalists. Because you're not out there for a story. You're not out there to gain anything other than some kind of ego. Because you're so... Your masculinity is so low that you have a need to go out and verbally abuse and harass society, working society, to make yourself feel better. It's such a shame. This is what you're teaching your daughter to be like as an adult. It's a shame. You should feel bad. You should feel low. You should want to better yourself. For at least your daughter. If you don't want to better yourself for you, at least do it for her. She doesn't see it right now, but in a couple of years, she's going to see what a loser her daddy is. And her mother. And that's where you're going to lose her. Because she's not going to want anything to do with a pair of losers like you two who would rather spend their money on themselves rather than get something that their daughter needs, like a home. That they would rather sit on the internet and beg other people for their money instead of being adults and parents and getting a fucking job and taking care of their daughter. She's going to see that daddy is so desperate for attention that instead of getting a job for her, he chose to go out and harass working society. You should be ashamed of yourself.
If you want to contact your attorney, again, Lieutenant Lee Dupuy.
I know you got qualified immunity. You don't give a shit. I know. That's the problem with it. That's why it's going to be abolished. That's why it's going to be abolished, and then y'all quit doing shit like this. When you have to pay for it yourself and taxpayers don't, and the taxpayers don't pay for it, you'll stop this shit.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Here's a little more free education for you. The police pay taxes. You do not. You don't put any money in their pocket. Do you own a home? Do you pay property taxes? You do not. Your little bit of taxes that you pay when you buy your rolling papers, that's not going into a police officer's pocket. You don't put in any taxes at all that funds the police or the fire department or 911 operators. You do not pay property taxes. You don't even have a home. So stop pretending like you are a sole person that puts money into their pockets. Because guess what? They actually pay taxes. The police do. They pay more taxes than you do. And guess what? They do it because they chose to be adults. They chose to be men. They got a career. They have an income, a home, a family that loves them. And they take care of their family. They give their children a stable home, stable lives. They don't have anything to be ashamed of. They're out there working every day. They're out there working and being harassed by junkie losers like you. And again, you have no shame. No shame at all. It's pathetic. You claim that you're out there fighting for the rights of fighting for our rights, like in the First Amendment, yet you don't even know that obscenities are not protected by the First Amendment, which is exactly what you were yelling out to that one cop, was obscenities. It's not protected by the First Amendment. Stop abusing and hiding behind the First Amendment or any other amendment in the Constitution so that you think it gives you the right to go out and harass society. It's not their fault that you are so severely uneducated that you have a very limited vocabulary. That's not their fault. That's not their fault that you cannot seem to get a job, so you go out and harass them. That's not their fault. It's your fault. You made your path in life. You made your decisions in life. Where you're at right now is all on you. They're giving you a free education and you still won't even just shut up and listen. Because you think you know everything. When in actuality, you don't know a damn thing. And you're supposed to be homeschooling your daughter?
No complainers. You can't be the complainers.
Why can't I? I'm a human being.
Because a judge would throw that out unless he's just in it for the revenue, and then...
That may be. We're going to go ahead and cut you loose, let you do what you want to do, but just mindful of the traffic, okay? What's that?
Y'all see this shit? I told y'all they're tyrants here. Tyrants, every one of them.
Oh no, they're such horrible tyrants. They are making you follow the law. Damn those tyrants. Damn them. If only they just wouldn't do their job and let you just run amok and do whatever the hell you wanted. If only they would just let you break all the laws in the world and let you get away with it and not make anybody face consequences for it. If only. Grow up. Oh my God. You are throwing a fit because you are being made to follow the law? I have met many people in my life. I have been all over the world, and I have met so many people in my life. But I have never seen adult males behave like whiny little babies like I have when I discovered frauditors. These supposed First Amendment auditors, which actually doesn't even exist. It's shit they made up. They are such whiny, crying babies. It is so sad and pathetic. I don't see how any woman could be with somebody like these frauditors. Don't women want men? What happened to wanting a man? It's sad. It's just sad.
Every one of them, guys. I told y'all, I always go with my guts, and something told me just to wait. Look, he wrote a window up. Public servants don't want to be identified.
I mean, how does it really feel standing there watching all of these people drive away? Each one of them are employed with homes and vehicles, while you, a homeless, unemployed loser, stands there on the side of the road recording upstanding citizens, productive members of society. I mean, it's gotta hurt a little bit that you know they're all better than you are because they chose to live better. They chose to live as adults, and they chose to live amongst society. I mean, if it doesn't sting in any way possible, then you've just proven everything I've said about you.
Did you see that shit? We're not going to debate this. If you want to go to court, we'll go to court. Because that's the problem with qualified immunity. That's the whole issue. Look at all these cops for a guy with a camera. I guess then they are. So I guess these guys are going to sit here and just waste tax dollar money watching me. Oh yeah, now they're going to move. Thanks for violating my rights. Thanks for allowing them to violate my rights. You really swore an oath to the Constitution.
I have had to fast forward through so much because it's just all dead air. He's just standing there recording them talk. And then he's whining and crying some more about how qualified immunity, blah, blah, blah. He is so jealous of police officers and that Jealousy is so strong. You can actually feel it through the video. He cries and whines so much over how they have a job. Well, if you want a job, go get a fucking job. Stop being a lowlife and go get a job. What you're doing is not a job. Obviously, you're not getting paid very well because you're constantly e-begging in live streams. Like, seriously. They have a purpose. What's yours? You don't have a purpose. You have no purpose. You can barely live in a motel. You don't live in hotels. You live in motels. And you can barely afford to even live in that. And you're so jealous of them. They have everything that you want. Everything that you want. And you can't have it. Because you choose not to. You choose to stay homeless. You choose to stay penniless. You choose to be the lowlife trash that you are. Any day you and your wife could go get a job. But you don't even bother to do that. Because it's easier for you to turn on your laptop and e-beg. And demand that your subscribers give you money to live on. And eventually, I hope they're going to get tired of supporting you. Supporting a so-called adult. I mean, I could subject you guys to the last 10 to 15 minutes of this video, but I choose not to make you sit through Jeremiah's whining, crying, complaining, and bitching. Because that's all he does for the last 10 minutes of the video, is whine and cry like a toddler. Because he didn't get his way. Poor little Jeremiah didn't get his way. So let's just stand there on the corner, make that huge walk of shame, and cry the whole way home. I'm glad that I don't understand why they do what they do. I'm glad I don't, because that means that I'm an adult. That means I'm doing something right in my life. Have I made the right decisions in life? No, some of them I didn't. But thankfully, I made enough right decisions so that I don't have to be like any of these people. And I don't have to live like any of these people. I feel good knowing that I'm able to support my son and give him a nice home and clothes and anything that he needs. When my son wanted a gaming computer, I felt amazing being able to get him that gaming computer out of the money that I worked really hard for. I didn't e-beg for it. I didn't offer to sell my child for it. I didn't sit there and whine and cry and beg my subscribers to feed my son. And that makes me feel good. Because I know that I'm doing good by my kids. I took care of my kids. My son is happy. He was happy at 4 and he's happy at 17. And he knows because mom was an adult. Unfortunately, this little girl, she doesn't have parents. She has 2 adult children using her so that they can continue to get money, so that they don't have to go out and actually work. And that's a shame. Oh my God, it is a horrible shame. Because the only innocent person in this is that child. If they really love that child, they would give her to a family member that hopefully isn't as bad as them. I mean, not sure about Samantha's father after hearing what she claims he is. But a family member that can at least give this girl a shot at life. Because as long as she stays with these two, she's doomed. She's literally doomed. Now, I'm not trying to say that I am a perfect parent. In no way possible am I a perfect parent. There are no perfect parents. But there are parents, and then there are people who want you to believe there are parents. And Jeremiah and Samantha are those ones that want you to think they're parents. Parents do whatever they can for their children. They sacrifice for their children. These two don't sacrifice anything. They're too selfish. They only care about themselves. They wouldn't know what it's like to sacrifice for somebody else. For someone who desperately depends on them. They wouldn't know what that's like. Because they've never done it. And that's what's really sad. I don't understand why his subscribers keep throwing money at them. Maybe it is because they feel bad for the little girl. But, yeah, if you think about it, that little girl would be way better off without them. Because, like I said, she would at least have a chance at life. That the way things are going right now, no. She doesn't have any shot at life whatsoever. I feel bad for that little girl. My heart goes out to that little girl. And I hope that a family member at least will step in and say enough is enough. Before the state does. Because the state is really, really close to stepping in and taking that little girl. And even though, yes, the system is not the greatest for a child, it's still better than where she is now. Jeremiah is going to continue to e-beg, and he's going to continue to just do what he's always done, which is not better his life in any way. And neither is his wife. They're just going to continue to do what they do because they're selfish human beings. All they care about is themselves. I don't know if I've done a video on Jeremiah before. I know I did one with him and Chili combined. I'm not sure if I actually did one with just him. So if I didn't, here it is. I try to stay away from fraudsters like him because they do anger me because a child is involved. And so I try to stay away from that. But he's put himself out there so much lately that it just couldn't be ignored anymore. So yeah, I went ahead and covered him. I don't know what's going on with these photos, but again, you make your own decisions and choices in life. You cannot blame anyone but yourself when you have to face consequences. But it seems Jeremiah, just like Chili, will never take responsibility for their own actions. And that's fine. You'll keep giving us content. And that, we appreciate. I will see you in the next video. Take care. Be safe. I love each and every one of you.